Welcome back to part 2 of the two-part tutorial on self-referencing lists. In the first tutorial, we created a table of list items and set some properties. Then we established a relationship for that table on itself, and then we developed a datasheet subform, which we will use on the main form for list management, which we are going to make in this tutorial, and then add some Visual Basic code for various functionality. So to create our new form, we want to go to the Create tab, and we will be using the blank form design. So go ahead and click that. This opens a new blank form for us. We're going to add two controls and a subform here. Let's go ahead and save this table or this form as FRM list management and click OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the caption for what displays in the tab when we use this and save that. Now we're going to bring in a combo box. Go ahead and verify first that your use control wizards is selected. Get this combo box and drop it in. The wizard starts. We want to use a table, so next. Here's our table, so next again. And in this combo box, we're just bringing in the list item ID and the list item. That's the ID which we'll store and the text value which represents that ID. In the next step, we want to sort our list, our combo box, by the list item's text value in ascending order. So click Next. And here's a little preview of what our combo box is going to look like. Right now, it just has one item in it, but it'll show us list items, and this checkbox right here to hide key column is the thing that hides the ID. When we were setting up our lookup properties in the table before, this is the same as putting 0, 1 to hide that first column and show the second one. Click Next. We will name our combo box as lists, and click Finish. And you see that that automatically updates the label for us. I'm going to stretch this combo box out so it's a little bit closer to that label. What you will notice is that it did not give us a name for the control itself, and since we pulled this in without being tied to any data, we just get a generic name. We're going to go ahead and change that name to something more meaningful, so we'll call it CBO lists. And we're going to modify the row source so that it just shows items of list type. So in the row source, click the ellipsis that brings up the query builder, and we want to bring in this parent list item ID by double clicking. We don't want to see this in our combo box. We just want to use its criteria as a filter. We'll put 1 because that is the list type of list. We'll save that, close it, and our combo box here is pretty well done. We'll throw that up in the corner. The next thing I'm going to add is the checkbox, and here's our checkbox. We'll drop that in, and I'll change the caption here of the label to say show inactive, not in action. And again, we have a generic control here, so we'll need to change the name for that to something more meaningful, and we want to change the default value to no, so that when we open this form, this checkbox is unchecked. Go ahead and move that up so that it is in line with our combo box, and now we are going to drag in our subform from the control panel. Let's go ahead and change this label to list items. And as you can see, when we select this, it came in with a control name equal to the table name, so we don't really need to change anything there. That's meaningful for us. Go ahead and tighten this up a little bit so that it looks good on our form. And the next thing that we're going to do is we want to make sure that when a change happens here with this combo box, a change also happens down here. The easiest way to do that is by setting the link master and link child data properties of the subform control, which you get by selecting the subform control. You can see it's here. There's the data. For the master, we want that to be equal to whatever value is in CBO lists. And then for the child, we want that to be equal to whatever this parent list item ID is. And that ensures that when a change is made here, it only displays the appropriate records down here, and then when new records are generated in here, they are generated of whatever type, whatever ID is stored in the control value up here. For our Visual Basic code, we are going to put some behaviors on this checkbox. We're going to put some on this form itself, and then we're going to put some on this active checkbox. So our show inactive checkbox will go to the events, and we want to change that after update. So after something has changed, we'll add an event procedure and then click the ellipsis. And here what we want to refresh, or what we want to put code on, is the actual subform control itself. And we're just going to do a requery. And basically that tells the form to go back and make sure that it has the most updated version of the data. So we'll save this and minimize it. With the form subform selected, then click into the actual form selector here. You can see that the form item is selected. After insert, we want to use an event procedure here and click the ellipsis. And what happens is, if we add a new item of list type, so that's a parent ID of 1, we need to be able to see that show up and be updated in this combo box right here. The way that we do that is, after insert, we're going to update this combo box if the parent ID is 1. So we'll go back into our Visual Basic code, and this will be a simple if statement. So there's our parent list item. If it is equal to 1, then we're going to reference the forms collection, and then our list management form, and the combo list control that's on that form. And we will requery this one just like we requeried the other object, and then endif. Save this and minimize the Visual Basic editor, and we'll now put an after update on this checkbox for if something is active. If we select something as inactive and we're only showing active records in the list, we want that to refresh here so that that item is no longer shown. We'll add another event procedure, which is just as simple as me.requery. We will save that and minimize the Visual Basic editor here. And one more thing that we're going to do is we're going to modify the record source for this subform. Right now you can see that there is a select statement query here. If we click the ellipsis next to that, we can see that we've got a query builder, and I have already entered this in here. What this does is it says take the opposite of the checkbox value or true. So if the checkbox is checked, that means we want to show inactive, so that means that the active here would actually be false. So we want the opposite of what that checkbox is showing. Or we always want to see the active ones, so true is also a valid option. Go ahead and save that and click close. We'll save again and go into form view, and if I haven't made any mistakes, we should see we've got a list right here. Let's go ahead and select that list, and you can see that this updates because list is a member of the list item. We'll add a list of colors, sizes, and departments. Okay. Now if I click my combo box here, we can see that all of those have now been updated. So let's add a couple of colors. And then we'll add a couple of departments. And you can see that as we're going through these lists, every time I grab a new list from the combo box, this refreshes to show the items that exist in that list. Now, right now we don't have any inactive items to show, so if I click red to make it inactive, we see that it requeries and red now comes off of the list. If I add a check to this box here to show inactive, it requeries again and it shows us this red item but still indicates that it is an inactive record. If I uncheck this, it requeries again and that red goes away. So this is how we deal with active and inactive items in our lists. I'm going to go ahead and click those and make that active again. And that's pretty much the end of this two-part tutorial. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave comments below the video. I will be providing some instructions and an email address if you have further questions. You want to contact me directly in the doobly-doo. All right, thanks, and I hope that you come back for my next tutorial.